Hey, what's happening, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Atomic Blonde. This was a highly anticipated summer movie for me, so let's just get right into it.
I chose this life, and someday it's going to get me killed.
Atomic Blonde is directed by David Leitch and it stars Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, John Goodman, Toby Jones, and Sofia Boutella. It's based on the graphic novel series from Anthony Johnston titled The Coldest City. The story takes place during the Cold War when an undercover MI6 agent played by Theron is sent into Berlin to find out who was responsible for the murder of a fellow agent, as well as trying to acquire a valuable list containing the names of double agents. Now, before diving into this one, I will tell you I have not read either The Coldest City or The Coldest Winter, so as far as comparisons, I couldn't tell you, but I will be reviewing this film as an action movie, one with an international spy setting, so let's just get right into what this film did very well. First, let's talk performances. I thought they were all very good. Charlize Theron completely sells herself in the lead role as this skilled, cunning, and dangerous spy. She effectively carries this film on her shoulders. She definitely put the effort in with all the stunt work, and it was all excellent to just make the action sequences as great as they could be, in my opinion. She captured all you could want from a female action lead, despite having some gaps in the character depth. She portrayed this character with a strong realism as a veteran who had kind of seemed to drown out the cold, unforgiving business that she had chosen. She drinks, she smokes. This is a clear masking agent for the unhappiness she feels, but despite that, she continues on, and Theron really captures that inner turmoil effectively. James McAvoy was also fantastic in this movie. He plays this shady, shifty, untrustworthy, but still somewhat charming character to amazing results. The writing for his character, honestly, like all of them, was a little thin and somewhat generic, but McAvoy with his energy definitely brings it up a couple levels. McAvoy and Theron also had a great chemistry with one another that completely sell their uneasy alliance. They are both posturing around one another, neither wanting to give up too much information, and to me, that subtle game of cat and mouse was very engaging. I thought Sofia Boutella, John Goodman, and Toby Jones were all nice additions as well. None really stole the screen, but they were more than serviceable given their characters were also a little cut and paste, with none getting really nothing more than superficial dialogue. And as for the action, I really enjoyed it as well. John Valera, who worked on some of the fight choreography for the first John Wick, serves as the fight coordinator for this film, and you definitely can see some of the similarities. Jonathan Sela, who was also the cinematographer for John Wick, was the DOP for this film, and it shows with some quality action sequences. But I thought it was awesome because while there were some similarities in the action, they were still very different in how they were choreographed, how they were shot, how they were edited, as well as the overall fighting style, something I really appreciated because it didn't feel like they were thinking, okay, this just worked out great for John Wick, let's just slap some gun fu and Atomic Blonde and call it a day. But they didn't. I thought the action was creative, it was violent, it showed a high level of difficulty, and it was often much more grounded in its styling. I thought the scenes were gritty and much more raw at times, which really gave off a true impression of two people or someone trying to fight to save their lives. I also really liked how this film didn't make Theron's character an invincible force either. She definitely takes some hits along the way, but dishes out plenty as well. The 80s Eastern European time settings were great for this movie. David Leitch comes in with some crisp direction and overall creates an appealing sort of anti-hero atmosphere with some strong stylistic effects. It was vibrant, it felt youthful, it was edgy and hip, and with a great soundtrack, it really incorporates the music into the story very well. But this was not a perfect film. It was a good action movie, but not a great one, and I feel it's in due part to the story, its progression, and honestly, its routine approach to the spy genre. If you take away the style, the time period, the action sequences, and the recognizable character performers, and you were left with just a very familiar spy plot. It was engaging, not necessarily compelling. It's going to pull you into the world that it's set in, but as the layers of this script begin to peel themselves back, it felt very familiar to other plot lines in the spy world that we have seen before. Now, honestly, from the trailers, that was kind of what I was anticipating, but I was hoping the characters were going to lure me into something more unique, but that didn't really happen either. There were times it felt the film was implying some deeper meaning to the emotions of the main character, but it never truly felt like it dove into those elements and examined them. Thus, the characters in this film were absolutely elevated by the performances and not the writing. After it was over, it felt like this film would have been a much better sequel, telling this story with some already established characters, which is interesting, given the graphic novel The Coldest Winter is a supposed prequel. I haven't read that, like I said, but to me it felt like a prequel or a part one before this movie would have provided it much more substance and foundation that I felt it was lacking. But overall, Atomic Blonde was a good time. It was a solid action film, and on the entertainment scale, I'm gonna give it an 80%. I really enjoy spy movies, so despite all the twisting and turning that this plot does as it tries to work itself out, it was still enjoyable to me. This film was absolutely at its best when the action was on, but honestly, when it wasn't, it was a little routine and a little slow at times. But I would say, if you like films like these, I would suggest Haywire. I think that was a better film than this one if you were wanting a stronger combination of story, acting, and action. Atomic Blonde, though, was definitely fun in moments. The second act did drag a bit because without really being connected to the characters, you can't fully invest in the impact of everything. But if you want to see some fun action that shows a lot of effort, as well as Theron just pouring herself into the sequences, I definitely do recommend this one. And that's my review of Atomic Blonde, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you saw this one, what you thought about it. Don't forget to drop this video a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a new video, and always feel free to swing by SilverScreenAnalysis.com. There are hundreds of reviews over there and great movie conversations to get into, so hope to see you over there as well. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I'm Anthony, this is the Silver Screen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.